I'm a powerlifter, which means I like lifting heavy weights. At just over 160 pounds by weight, I've hit a 315 pound bench, a 400 pound squat, and a 455 pound deadlift. But all of my strength comes from a barbell. So the question is, does that power transfer to calisthenics? For the next 30 days, I'm going to find out by training exactly like Chris Heria, the most influential calisthenics athlete in the world, who can basically move around with gravity turned off. I'll track my progress, break down what worked and what didn't, and by the end reveal if his training actually gave me superhuman strength. To measure it, I set 3 goals. The full planche, that's when you plank with just your hands holding you up. On day 0, that wasn't happening, but I was able to straddle planche for 3 seconds. The front lever, where you hang from a bar with your body straight out. I couldn't hold that for a second. And the last goal was a 5-second L-sit to handstand. This is where you start in a seated leg raise, then press yourself up. I couldn't do the L-sit at all, but I could kind of muscle my way into the handstand. For context, I weighed in at 151 pounds. And with my baseline set, the next step was figuring out how Chris Heria trains. After some searching online, I found his workout app, which has over 20 programs for only $12 a month. Not bad. The workouts are built around high volume circuits, which are lots of exercises back to back with little rest, skill progressions, those are less difficult variations of harder moves, and finally a heavy focus on core strength. Each session packs in about 7 different exercises for 3 sets each, which I definitely was not used to since as a powerlifter, we only do about 3 to 5 exercises per workout. On day 1, it was pretty clear I had no idea what I was doing. So over the next few days, I watched Chris Heria's videos to fix my form, and the workouts started to feel a lot more manageable. So it's day 8, which means 1 week went by, which also means that it's time to test if we made any progress using the Heria Pro app, starting with the L-sit. When I retested my L-sit, I was surprised I could hold it on the parallettes, though I felt it more in my legs than in my core. This was probably due to the fact I already had pretty strong abs, but my mobility was lacking from powerlifting. The planche went better too, as I was close, but my legs were angled a little too high for it to count as a proper hold. As for a front lever, I still couldn't manage it at all, but it was definitely better than day 1. So, just a quick update on recovery. It's way faster than lifting weights, at least compared to my ANATOLY video. Maybe it's just because I'm not like lifting double my body weight anymore, but recovery is way faster with calisthenics. So now I'm just gonna get ready for my 2-mile run that Chris Heria usually does in the morning. And I'll see you guys there. But before the 2-mile run, I made Chris Heria's go-to breakfast. A green juice with ginger, apple, celery, spinach, and a few other things tossed in. Alright, so this is Chris Heria's morning concoction. Let's see how it tastes. It's actually pretty good. After finishing the drink, it was time to head out for the run. And I'll be honest, I was a little hesitant since as a powerlifter, cardio isn't exactly my strong suit. And I realized I had another problem. Alright, 2-mile run in my Converse for some reason, because I don't have running shoes, so this is gonna be fun. So I just finished the first mile, which was not that bad. It was actually pretty fun. So I'm going to finish the last mile and then we'll head back, eat some food and get our workout in. Let's go. When I got home, I rewarded myself with some Japanese pork katsu curry, which was absolutely delicious. But then it was straight into the next training session. And that's when I noticed another problem. So I was looking over the footage and I realized I have a huge problem that I picked up from powerlifting, which is the extension of the lower back, which is somewhat fine in powerlifting because this keeps your back protected when you're doing heavy lifts, but this is really bad in calisthenics because in calisthenics, you want either a neutral spine or a rounded spine. So in order to fix this problem, I'm going to start implementing movements like the banana hold, which will teach me to pull my belly button towards my spine when I'm doing movements like planche or the handstand. So hopefully it'll help, and I'll see you guys later. By week 2, I started noticing a lot of activation in my serratus anterior, a muscle I honestly never felt before. At the same time, a lot of the strain shifted onto the inner tendons of my elbow, which meant I wasn't using enough muscles. So I started warming up my supporting muscles with curls and presses before going into planche work. That helped get my biceps and chest warmed up, which made training the planche a lot easier. I also kept an eye on what I was eating by tracking my calories and trying to keep things pretty clean, following along with Chris Heria's recommendations. Alright, so this is basically the meal. It is chili oil noodles, or fettuccine, with some chicken. You know, pretty basic. It gets my carbs in, a little bit of vegetables, which is tomatoes, and I get my protein in. It's not super healthy, but it's usually what I eat for dinner. I don't like to eat something that's really boring because, you know, I just don't eat the whole thing if it's boring. But if it tastes really good, then I'm getting my calories in. So I'm going to finish this and then finish out the challenge. So see you guys then. Also, this is really good. Wow. By the final week, I decided to retest my straddle planche, and this happened. I was able to straddle planche for 10 seconds, which was a 230% increase from day 1. With that progress, I felt ready to level up my band-assisted work. I also added in more L-sit regressions because I realized I've been cheating by leaning back instead of stacking my shoulders directly over my wrists. Fixing that forced me to actually engage my core the right way. And on top of that, I started incorporating dragon flags, following Chris Heria's advice to build the core strength I needed for the front lever. Alright, so it has officially been 30 days, or 1 month, since we first started the challenge, which means it's time to almost test our PRs. I'm planning on resting just a little bit just to have my CNS recover a little, and then after maybe like 3 to 4 days, we will test our PRs and see if we got any stronger using the Chris Heria app. So until then, I'll see you guys there. Testing day was finally here, and the first thing I did was check my weight. I came in at 154 pounds, a 3-pound increase since the start. Next, I grabbed a white monster from CVS, headed to the gym, and got started. First up was a 5-second L-sit to handstand, something I've never tried before. I warmed up with some L-sits and push-ups, then made my first attempt. 3, 4, 5. I managed to complete it, but my handstand lacked control and I couldn't hold it long enough. So I decided to go for one more try, and this happened. 5. Alright, let's go. Okay, it was a little better. Next was the front lever. After warming up, I gave it a go, and to my surprise, I could kind of hold it. Not perfect form, but it was way better than day 1. Finally, it was time for the planche. I warmed up with the advanced tuck planche holds, then went for it. And this happened. Let's go. I was able to hold a full planche for 4 seconds. Which is kind of crazy since I went from a straddle planche to a full planche in just 30 days. So overall, in just a month, I added 7 seconds to my straddle planche, unlocked a full planche, built enough strength to hold a front lever for a few seconds, and managed an L-sit to handstand. Which brings me to my question, is training like Chris Heria worth it? Honestly, yeah. If your goal is to get better at calisthenics, his app is a great place to start. Minus the glitches and the outdated programming, you still get structured workouts for a bunch of different skills without the need to go through a bunch of YouTube videos. Overall, it provided me a clear path and it kept me consistent throughout the 30 days. And that pretty much wraps up my experience with the challenge. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what strength challenges you want me to try next. And if you enjoyed following along with this one, please make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my video where I train like ANATOLY for 30 days, following his paid workout program. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.